And welcome to Rauta's Reviews. I know this review comes like a week too late because this particular album has already been out there, yes, for a full week. Well, what can I say? Got this album from Nuclear Blast today, not a week ago as I was kind of hoping for, expecting for. But here it goes. Hope it helps at least somebody out there who hasn't yet listened to this album or who for some dubious reason wants to hear my opinion about this new Immortal album. So, Northern Chaos Gods is the title of this album. I had to give it another listen now that I have finally a physical copy here. I already gave it a few listens a couple of weeks ago when I got the digital promo, but then again, that's something that I cannot show to you. So, since in Rauta we do physical releases only as review, for people who don't know, it's time to take a look how this particular CD looks like. So here we have old logo inside, which is kind of a curious but nice addition to the feeling. And on the back side we obviously have track list and the necessary information, yet quite minimal in design. And knowing fingerprints already there, even though I've had this just for a couple of hours, but this is the price of a glossy cover material. Inside it's all black, as you can see, even though underneath the CD, the tray, there is the logo, and obviously there is a booklet, as you can pretty much figure out. So this is a digipack version of the CD, obviously, sort of limited edition if I understood right. If not, just consider my talk as rubbish. Here we have lyrics in the fashion that is very Immortal-like, kind of a font that is exactly of Immortal style. Now, here we have also band pictures. The drummer Horg, who used to be in the band for quite a long time, even prior to this one when Abbath is no longer in the band and Demonas is handling guitar work and, vocals as well. So it's kind of like third generation of Immortal in a way, considering that originally there was this original lineup for a few albums and everybody thought like it's gonna be Demonas and Abbath for life. Then Demonas had his kind of but wrist problems with some kind of what they are called, some canals, and there was some inflammation or whatnot. Advertisement. And well, that was basically band ran by Abbath, Horg, and well, these three guys basically back in Damn in Black. And so now that it's kind of curious that Abbath is no longer in the band, how can Immortal sound like Immortal without Abbath? That is the big question here. But luckily, I can say it's a very good and solid album. Now, there are people who like some portions of Immortal, and then there are people who don't like it at all, and of course some people who just like the whole discography. While I am being more on the pure Holocaust and Battles in the North type of Immortal fan, if you can call me the fan in the first place, I still like also some of the newer material and also Abbath's personal, solo material, as well as the band I, if you can remember that album. But also Immortal's latest album is very good. Could I say a comeback album? It reminds me, at the heart of Winter album with its very epic, kind of atmospheric and this kind of landscape-ish black metal. Well, there used to be this kind of jokes that Immortal is not black metal band, it's a kind of a weathercast black metal when it's everything in Blastwork is just basically a blizzard, snowfall, or just ice and cold. Now, Northern Chaos Gods just doesn't sound like that, and yet at the same time it kind of takes me back those 19 years or so when At the Heart of Winter came out. The biggest difference on this album is not in fact the riffs or the lack of Abbath as such, but the vocals, in my opinion. Abbath's kind of a distinctive way of singing those black metal vocals are, in my opinion, among the best in the genre. Very raw, very kind of a unique way of, doing those vocals. And that's something I totally miss with this album. Even though Demonas does quite solid work, it's clear that he cannot replace Abbath as such. Well, he can replace it, but he won't, get to the level of Abbath, at least in my opinion. But that's just, like a detail kind of a thing. It doesn't really matter because all the songs here are very well composed. Some would even say that this is kind of an Immortal step to Bathory's epic Viking material. Well, I wouldn't go as that far because to me there is a clear distinction between these two. Bathory having clean vocals and even more epic and even more atmospheric, kind of a more beautiful, more sentimental stuff, more deeper, more folkish pagan Viking, all that stuff. But that doesn't stop Immortal kind of doing the same in the Immortal way that is. Having this splash, hurricane, ice cold winter, snowfall, blizzard thing. And what it does, what the band does here is exactly very good. Now, I'm not gonna say this is obvious album of the year, but it's a very good candidate, in the top 10 list at least. Because not only the songs are very well made, they are beautiful to listen to, and they have this sort of aggressiveness, the production is also good, and the vocals are good. Just basically everything is there, at least in the terms of being Immortal, except for Abbath. Now, I don't know how this will rank up eventually in everybody's Immortal list, but for me this, definitely leaves those previous albums quite easily behind. And I'm talking this, Damn in Black era, as well as, Blizzard Beasts and all that stuff. I am yet kind of undecided whether or not this will actually beat the hell out of At the Heart of Winter, but I have a strong feeling that this might be just in the top 3 of all Immortal albums, eventually, that is. It's way too early to say how it will, turn out, because usually it takes a lot of time, lots of spinnings, with, going back and forth, and you end up to play out. But I have a good feeling about Northern Chaos Gods after these few spins that I've, been listening to it. So what I can say that this is a very strong album, and everybody who has ever been into Immortal in any way, at any given moment, any given time, they should definitely give this one a listen because it's a good album, good production, nothing to actually really complain, except that there's no, you guessed that right, Abbath in the band. So, get your CDs straight, LPs, or even digital copies. This is worth your listening pleasure, Immortal. Great to have you back. Thank you for watching a Rauta's review, and as always, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so far, and let me know your comments on the box below. See you soon with more Rauta reviews. Bye bye.